All right. What is up, WTF Nation Radio? We are back live and in HD. This is the Sports Bar, hosted by the actual King Smith and my main man, Coach, checking in with the paper bag still over his head. Coach, let the people know what you got to say.
What do you hear? What do you say? Time to crack open up another one, a nice cold one for tonight. Oh, I am in such a great freaking mood today. I'm ready to talk about some sports. I'm ready to go off on football. And by the way, just as a public service announcement, for all of you football fans that are in the states of Colorado and New York, New Jersey, by the way, Buffalo, you don't count. You're part of Toronto. You're Canadian basically with our currency. The national suicide number is 988, and you can also text VETS to 741-741. I will also give you the poison control hotline because I know that most of y'all want to drink bleach right now, and it would be better off than watching your football teams this past weekend. How you doing this evening, Coach? How you doing this evening, King?
Hey, man, I'm doing good. My fantasy football teams are winning. I might have one sweat in one of my leagues, but overall, a good weekend. My NFL team lost to the Colts, but we'll talk about that a little bit later on. But it's been a fantastic weekend, brother.
Oh, that's good. That's good, man. I'm glad we're not coming off of another Alabama loss. That's one thing I will have to say. I was rather surprised by that happening, but plenty of other losses to go around in college football, the NFL. Heck, even today, I almost had a part right there where the games were so bad on for the teams I was rooting for. I nearly turned it to the semifinals of the Eastern Conference of the WNBA playoffs.
Wait, the WNBA's in the playoffs?
Yeah, I didn't find that out until today either.
I did not know that. Well,
Yep, nope, yep. Apparently they're in the playoffs right now. So hooray, hooray for the WNBA.
that is
It
why
would have
we
been
have
better than a lot of other of us watching football today. I'll say that.
Man, all right. Well, hey, let's get into it, y'all. This is the Sports Bar here at WTF Nation Radio. We are streaming across multiple platforms. You can find us on Facebook, X, formerly known as Twitter, YouTube, Kick, and our own Facebook page called The Sports Bar USA. Coach, we are not the only show that streams here on WTF Nation Radio live at 8 p.m. US Eastern. Let the people know, like how you did yesterday, in under 90 seconds, what else we offer here at WTF Nation Radio before we get into today's sports bar. And
Yes.
go.
And ladies and gentlemen, we do come to you live 6 nights a week on U.S. Army WTF Moments and WTF Nation Radio across Facebook, YouTube, X, and Kick. And we kick off every week with us, the Sports Bar, coming to you live Sundays. And on Monday, we have the Monday edition with Ice. And we've had a rotating groups of hosts that have been coming in, helping out Ice on Mondays. Definitely want to check him out at 8 p.m. Eastern. On Tuesdays, our man CQ bringing it to you live with Pop Culture Warrior. He's had Mike, Angry Elf, and a couple other people rotating through as hosts on there. Plus, he's got an interview coming up, and I will get you that name of the interview when I actually look and care about the sheets that CQ sends us every week. And on Wednesdays, we have the Smoke Pit with our guy and gal, Radar and TZ. Last week, man, we were just BSing back and forth about a whole slew of different things, and it was an absolute great show that we were on there. You definitely want to check them out Wednesday nights as well. Coming to you live Thursdays is Sergeant's Time, where ICE will bring down to you everything that is happening within the military. And yes, we will have an update for you on all of the mold stories that are happening in the barracks that everybody in Congress is now up in arms about, but every chain of command is forgetting. And I don't get paid this week, so that must mean that Kaz and Pookie are back with Friday Night Freedom and wrapping up all the news stories of the week. Bring it to you live 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Central, 6 p.m. Mountain, 5 p.m. Pacific, 3 p.m. Alaskan, 2 p.m. Hawaiian. Not City Daylight Savings Time yet, but what it will be, that'll be a 5 hour. And that is always brought to you on U.S. Army WTF Moments and WTF Nation Radio across Facebook, YouTube, X, and Kick. Back to you, King.
All right. Hey, I like that wrap up, y'all. For y'all today, we are going to have a pretty good episode as we always do. I like to strive for pretty good. If I can get to pretty good on an episode, I'm all right. We're going to have some sports trivia. We're going to hit y'all with some sports quick hits for the day. Then we're going to talk about several things around sports, how these ticket prices are getting out of hand for these college athletic events, and how are people affording them? That's what I want to know. We're going to talk about Usher finding out that he's the halftime performer, and ask you guys who y'all's favorite halftime performance for the Super Bowl has been over the last couple of years. Also going to show you guys a video of a band director that got tased by the cops for not leaving on what's called the fifth quarter. I've never heard of this term before, but apparently some bands stick around and play after the game is over. To me, that's a waste of my time, but we're going to talk about that later. And what would you do if your kid got punched in the stomach by the coach on the sideline and it was filmed? Okay. And we're going to hit y'all with some NCAA football news and some NFL football news, as well as what we're about to get into right now, which is the WTF Nation Radio Listener League Fantasy Football updates. All right.
Dun 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 dun.
Let
Dun 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 dun.
Coach, we have an intro. I'll play the
Oh,
intro.
we do? Oh, that's right. I forgot we do. Yeah.
Don't get me wrong, I did like your intro, but we're going to go over this real quickly. So, as the only undefeated team in this league, I'm at a sweat. Right now, I'm projected to get 155 with Najee Harris left to play, who's been doing absolutely trash, against somebody who's projected to get 145 with Joe Burrow and Davis Goddard left. So, we'll see how that turns out. We got Coach going to pull out the win. There's nothing else to really add to this. This should be an easy win. It's going to put Kyle McCandles at 1-2 and Coach at 2-1. Look, we can't be having a fantasy football listeners league with me and Coach at the bottom. That's not how this is supposed to go.
All right. Heck no, I'll have more wins today than CQ has middle fingers.
We have Mike Larson going to pull out the easy win as he had a plethora of people led by Raheem Mostert, which we're going to talk about later on today, in which that the Miami Dolphins are looking like Madden NFL video games playing out there with the score that they put up. So Mike Larson is going to end up beating Team Radar. Womp, womp, womp. And I love it. Looking at the next one, let's see. We have and what could be it now? It's not going to be a sweat. Taking a look at the players that's left. Tim Hinkle's going to end up being 2-1. That's the guy who I brought into the league, and he's been managing his team well. Been quiet, just kind of doing his thing, trying to make sure that he's going to be in to win this $50 that the league winner is going to win, coming out of my pocket. Double, remember, double if CQ does not make the playoffs. Okay,
playoffs.
He's
going to try to win a game. Playoffs.
Speaking of CQ, he must have been both happy and sad to see that while Mahomes did have 3 passing touchdowns and put up 25 fantasy points, he left the game kind of early as the Chiefs were stomping over the Bears. Like I said, we're going to get into NFL news a little bit later on, but he should get the win, barring anything crazy happening, like Godwin putting up Keenan Allen numbers and scoring like 40-something fantasy points, to where he could end up beating Flash's revenge over here. CQ is going to get his first win, and I'm not happy about it.
I don't know about that. I don't know. I'm pretty sure Flash is going to squeak this one by. I'm going to give that to him today. Because CQ is going to be 0-3, and the memes are going to be a hell of a lot bigger.
Yep.
I know. It's a 9% chance to win, but hey, At one point today, the Packers only had about a 9% chance to win.
Oh man, I watched that game and could not believe there were several great games that came down to the final minute where there were some interesting calls and stuff that had occurred during the NFL. And then finally, we're going to look at Mr. Wilson here, projected to beat Show Me Your TDs. Look, Show Me Your TDs. What are you doing? What are you doing? Nobody would have predicted the Jaguars to lose the way that they lost to Houston. I don't think nobody saw that. All right. But I still would not have played the Jaguars defense. There were several other defenses that were sitting there to where you could have picked somebody up and dropped the Jags defense. They're statistically not doing anything to get you points. And against Houston, this rarely should not have happened. But sometimes there's anomalies that occur, and this might have been one of those weeks.
Yeah, like the Jets winning in the first week. There's the anomaly for the season.
So the predictions and stuff are going as they should. Like I said, I should still remain standing at the top to be the only undefeated team going into the first quarter of our fantasy football year. But you know what? A lot can change over time, so I shouldn't be too excited, because things could change to where I could go literally from first to last. All right. And it is what it is.
That is true, my man.
All right. So that is our WTF Nation Radio Listeners League Fantasy Football update. Now, before we get into the next thing, let's acknowledge the people that are here watching us live and in the comment section. Good evening to God Happened to Me over on YouTube. Said good evening. Good evening to you, man. Thank you for popping in. That's my boo thing, y'all. Hands off. All right. Shout out to my man David Cunningham. Hey, David, if you can, make sure you give us the updates. I don't have the Sunday night game up in front of my face because I'm doing this show. I might go get my phone and stash it somewhere where I can look down, look up, look down, look up. But if you can keep us up to date with the updates as you do, I would appreciate it, brother.
He'll definitely have the faster updates than me. I'm just watching it right now just so I can see Carrie Underwood's legs again.
Yeah. Hashtag Carrie Underwood's legs. That was trending on Twitter at one point. I don't know if you knew that.
No, I did not know that. I don't go on that trash heap of a social media service.
Back when Twitter was still Twitter. All right. Shout out to Jake Ford. You know what? I don't know what HD means.
Oh, we're broadcasting in HD. That's what he's talking about.
I'm in HD. You see all this handsome in HD.
I'm still in 4.3 and using on 480p right now. That's what I'm on. I'm unfortunately stuck on that.
We got my man Mouse is in the building. Said, "Go Red Sox, coach." What do you think about that?
And Mouse will kiss my ass.
And Jake said CQ's gonna win the game. Yes, he is, and it looks like you're gonna lose one. All right. Let's see. Before we get into the next thing, let's take a look at what's up next. Up next is sports trivia. Sports trivia. I thought this one was dark and hilarious at the same time. So,
all right.
Here's what I am going to do, people. I am going to ask a question. I'm going to repeat the question. And then I am going to put up a 30-second timer to which the viewers and listeners are going to answer the question in those 30 seconds. Do not look this stuff up, okay? Scout's honor. If you were in the Air Force, our core values were integrity, so use some integrity. And then
the other core honors were sleep and food and room service.
And play as much golf as you can play. All right. So here is our sports trivia question for today. Let me find it. Okay. So here's the question. I'm going to put it up on the screen, and then I'm going to repeat it, and then I'm going to start a timer. Answer it in those 30 seconds. Our sports trivia here question is, this university ate their mascot during their annual banquet. Name that university. This university in the United States ate their mascot during their annual banquet? 30 seconds. All right, we are back. Now, our sports trivia question was, this university ate their mascot during their annual banquet. Now, coach provided some answers in our back room. He listed Oregon, Notre Dame, and Rice, which is the owl.
Yeah, but all right, I get Rice as the Owls, but I mean, technically, you're right. Almost every banquet has rice, so I mean, come on now.
Why did you list Notre Dame? In their mascot?
Because I wanted, because I couldn't find out which one was the Beavers. I couldn't remember that one. I
Oh
think that's
man.
Washington State or something. Yeah,
Let's see. Oregon, actually. Isn't Oregon the Beavers?
Oregon's a duck. Oregon State's the Beavers.
Oregon State. Yes, I knew it was one of them in Oregon. Okay, so we got my man, Mr. Ford said the Buffaloes. Okay, nobody is right. Out of all of the four that are
Colorado.
listed out there, nobody is right. Now, this would have been an obvious one if you would have just maybe took a second to think about it. What do people typically eat at banquets? Like, just
Rice.
name a meat product.
Oh, USC, the Gamecocks.
Chicken would have been a good one.
Chicken.
Chicken would have been a good one, but no.
How about the Long Beach State Seals?
The answer is the University of Texas. In 1920, the University of Texas, short on cash and tired of shouldering the cost of tendering to their mascot, who was named Bevo or Bevo, they decided that since he wasn't tame enough to roam the wild during their annual football banquet, the University of Texas ate him.
Damn. Damn.
I saw that and said, yo.
But you know what? I get that. I mean, I would say something, I was trying to think of something funny that people eat, like, something. The Temple Owls would have definitely been a good one to see them eat. I would have loved to have seen the Boston College Eagles, trying to eat their mascot. Georgia would end up having PETA all over them with the Bulldogs out of it. And maybe and look, everything happens over in Florida, so I mean, it wouldn't be surprising to me if the Florida Gators had a gator for one of their banquets.
Ooh, that would have been actually legit. I wonder. I'm not even gonna wonder that. Hey, did you see the article in which there was a 13-foot gator that apparently had a body in its mouth when they found the gator?
Yes, I did. And on top of that, too, you know what that they also found? They also found a golf ball in a black guy's hand. His name was Chubbs. Oh, come on, man. You don't get that reference?
No,
You've never seen Happy Gilmore with Adam Sandler?
I've seen it, but it's been years.
You don't remember
that movie.
You don't remember when Clubber Lang had his daggone hand bitten off by the alligator? He couldn't play golf anymore. Oh, no, I don't. Wow.
Mm-mm.
Oh, okay. Never mind then. Never mind. That joke flew over there. Somebody in the audience had to have known what I was talking about with that one. Wow, Mike Tyson's over at the Monday Night Football game.
Oh, okay. Have they kicked off?
Yeah, the baddest motherfucker on the planet, too, man. He till the day he dies, he is the baddest motherfucker on the planet.
Hey, did you hear the interview that he gave, or one of the many interviews that he gave, in which he said his wife or girlfriend at the time would like buck up on him? And I'm thinking, How confident are you in the culture of the rules in the US that you must be to buck up at Mike Tyson, okay? A guy that talked about how he'll eat kids if he needed to. And
Yeah, but Mike Tyson's been in enough trouble with the law, and he knows damn well if he puts his hand on a woman, he has to show as much restraint as humanly possible. That would be front page news, not on ESPN. That would be right on Drudge, CNN, Fox News, freaking all of the other smear places. TMZ would be following him instead of following Taylor Swift to Kansas City. You know?
that's crazy to me. There is no world in which I live in which I'm going to see Mike Tyson, have a disagreement with him, and get in his face and think, oh, he ain't going to hit me. That's wild.
That's true. That's true. But that woman must have, she's got a set of balls bigger than Travis Kelce, obviously.
Hey, it has to. All right. So let's get into this first thought right here, in which I'm trying to figure out something, man.
What's up?
How are people affording to pay for college tickets when you have the cheapest ticket for it was number 6 versus number 9 at the time, Notre Dame
Yep.
versus Ohio State? The cheapest ticket that you could find on TickPick was $929. All right, which this is being reported that it is 6 more times expensive than the get-in price for last year's national championship game. Now, Coach, I don't
Yeah.
know. I'm just gonna say this because I put this information out there. I work for the government. Okay, let's talks about a government shutdown. Parts of the
Yeah.
government shutdown and everything for people that care about money and all of this stuff is how we might be in a recession if you invest in stocks and things like that. Look, I'm not a this isn't a financial talk. It's just, hey, take a look at what's going on in the markets, interest rates, and things like that. And you can kind of see that I think that there's a crash coming up, and yet people are willing to spend almost $1,000 on a college football game, and not even like a championship game. This was a regular season matchup at that. Man, how are people
Well,
affording this
well,
stuff, Coach?
well. I mean, all right. Let's give one little bit of insight. A little bit of kind of a background on this. TickPix is a resale site, so it's not directly from the box office. It's already a ticket that has been bought, but from somebody at the school, and they're reselling it. Now, granted, reselling of a college ticket. Hey, look, I don't care how you got to eat your ramen. If you want to go ahead and get your student tickets off of that way and sell your tickets for that much, hey, more power to you. My daughter sells her football tickets every year or every week that I'm not there at the game. So I don't blame her whatsoever. She gets a little bit of money back over there, sells it for a little bit over the price. It was a primetime game on NBC versus two of the most historic college football teams that are in existence in our nation. Okay. Yes, football exists outside of the Southeastern Conference. And, Ohio State and Notre Dame are two of the biggest outside of the Southeastern Conference that play football. So it was an historic matchup. It doesn't happen very often. And it was a good matchup because there was number 4 versus number 9, right? I think
Yeah.
something like that. It might have been 4 versus 6, and it was going to be a competitive game with what everybody was saying. It could have national championship implications because Ohio State being ranked up there. I could see that happening, or for increasing the prices, but with the way that sports and everything has been happening within our nation, seeing the event live has now become the premium source of entertainment. Okay. Pop Culture Warrior talks about it all the time. Hollywood's on strike. Nobody's going to the movie theaters anymore unless they're seeing Barbie and Oppenheimer. Those are like two movies out of the past year and a half that people have actually wanted to go see. You have seen umpteen times where people have been bored on that, and NFL tickets are going for a little bit higher on there too. And on top of that, nobody really wants to play for them, especially after this week, and watch them. So to see a primetime game at that much, you're going to expect primetime money. Now, I will get a little bit into politics on here, and whether you say the economy is political or whatever, blah, 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 blah. Okay, great. The prices have been increasing on any type of premium good, and it's happened year over year for the past 3 years. So the increases in ticket prices have been coming through because the universities need to recoup their costs for hosting the games, and the cable companies are now making money, and NIL deals and all of this other stuff that they have to pay out to the universities to pay them, and all of this other garbage. College football has become a business. So to see the increase dealing with the economy and everything that is dealing with all of the changes within collegiate football, which, let's just be quite honest, they're not amateurs anymore. It doesn't surprise me that this price increase is coming around there, especially in the resale market. You know what? And I'll say this, they might actually be a better short-term investment than any cryptocurrency right now.
Hey,
You can get you can get cheap tickets over to a college football game that's prime time, and then you could sell it for 6 times the price. Hell, that's a hell of a lot more better than Dogecoin and lithium and cranium or whatever the fuck kind of idiom it is. It's definitely better than buying NFTs and all that other crap. So hey, invest your money the way that you want to. And if you're making the money that way just by doing this ticket resale, that's all fine and dandy with me.
I'm trying to figure out the people that have the money and who can sponsor me. Hey, hold on, assistant, zoom in on me. If there's any sugar mamas out there that's willing to sponsor a decently handsome dude, all right. I know I said at the beginning of this stream that God happened to me is my boo thing, but look, if like a half a billionaire decided that they wanted me to be their boy toy for about like 5 years,
Michelle, are you taking this crap serious?
then Michelle, I'm asking you to think about this as a business decision, babe. All right, this is a business decision. I'm trying to figure out the people that got enough ticket money to pay almost $1,000 for a football ticket and who can, slide some of that over my way. All right. She said, I, period, don't, period, share. God dang it. All
Now
right.
I can make a very insensitive joke about the Catholic Church and Notre Dame football tickets, but I will refrain from that one.
All right. Ooh, all right. I think I
Dodge a bullet on that
I
one.
think I could have to deal with that one might go. Hey, you know what? Since we are on NCAA news, let's let's
Hmm.
stick right here. The first thing that I want to highlight here is this. There was a Division 3 football player. I am going to show her Instagram. Okay, this is her Instagram here. It looks like it might have either just been created or she may have. Oh yeah, I think this was actually just created. So she made history as one of the first ladies to play a position in a non-kicker position and
Mm-hmm.
get in and make a meaningful play. And I have the video here of what she did. Some people are quick to uh discount it, but we're going to play it and let the people that are watching give their take on it. So here's the video. Where is it at here? I need my assistant to move faster. Okay, so this is Haley Van Voorhees of a Division 3 college school making a play. Watch it.
Center in the gun, but so far they exclusively in the gun.
That's her right there.
Left,
Boom.
throws under duress.
That's the quarterback.
Incomplete.
So let's watch it one more time. She's the one that rushed the quarterback that contributed to what's a stat called a QB hurry that led to an incomplete pass. Let's watch it again.
Center in the gun, but so far they exclusively in the gun.
Sherman with trips left, throws under duress. Incomplete.
All right. So, coach, comments.
All right. First, hats off to her. If we could go back to her Instagram page, Damn, that girl's rocking a freaking six pack. I mean, I'd be able to wash my daggone, my underwear over there on her stomach. You see that six pack she's got underneath that uniform? My goodness, great! You look at those, man. Damn,
Yep,
those
yep.
are some abs. Those are some abs. All right, I'm going to say this about look, D3. All right, we've talked about Division 3 before, and we've talked about the levels of basketball, football, baseball, etc. About how you can play and how well it is, and how she is closer to Troy Polamalu than the average person is to her. All right, or something along that line. Remember Brian Scalabrine and everything like that.
Mm-hmm.
So for her to get on the field and play safety for a Division 3 school is historic. She played a non-kicking position, a non-special teams position. She got out on the field, and look, happening in Division 3, you might see it as small bucks. Like I said, there have been Division 3 football players that have made it to the NFL and have been put into the Hall of Fame. I'll give you two of them. Middle linebacker Sam Mills of the Carolina Panthers and quarterback for the 1987 Super Bowl champion New York Giants, Phil Simms. Both of them went to Division 3 schools. There have been Division 3 people that have played in or that are playing in the NFL right now. So that being said, it's not anything bad. You're not going to see that many, but it's definitely a hell of a lot better step than playing semi-pro ball on for the the Fayetteville Rough Riders or something like that. But like I said, I'm happy that she's done that. And for everybody that has something to say about her playing football, oh, this is just a feminist type of thing. Oh, they're going to not talk about the guy. It wasn't that big of a play. Motherfucker, you would never be able to make a play like that, okay? You would be looking like Colorado did against Oregon if you played football and you're making comments about that. Don't give me that bullshit. This girl looks like she would fuck you up, bend you over into a pretzel, and then take your father out for a steak dinner, have him pay, and enjoy the great night out of it. So don't you dare try to talk smack about this girl. For crying out loud. I'm glad that she did that. Great for her. She's a track and field athlete too. That's good for her too.
Yep.
So you know what? And then on top of that too, she's now a two-sport athlete at the collegiate level. All right. You're barely an intramural. You're barely an intramural bench player. Okay, don't even try that.
Yep. She plays for a college that's right down the road from me, actually. I think that the exposure is good for the university, Shenandoah Valley or Shenandoah University's right down the road from me, probably maybe about an hour. I don't even think if that. And
Oh,
I actually
nice.
know a couple of people that did play D3 football there. So look, that's good exposure for the program, not just for her. Apparently, if you go to Van Voorhees's X page, there's a video of her deadlifting 315 pounds. So just like Coach said, look, the lady's an athlete. All right. Plain and simple. She's an athlete. She's way more talented than a lot of the people her age that can't do the physical accomplishment that she's done. So my hats are off to her for being a multi-sport athlete that cares about her fitness. And shout out to her.
She's better than you, and she knows it.
All right. More NCAA news. Whew, man, there's a lot that we could hit up. First of all, my Alabama team won. It was so pretty, but we won. Roll damn hot. All right. But also, man, let's hit the elephant in the room.
Oh yeah.
There people were talking about Coach Prime and the Colorado Buffaloes and how when they got into their division play that the Cinderella story was going to
Yeah.
be over. It's a good thing that
Well, we
have a
mentioned
sport
we
show.
mentioned that last week that these next 2 weeks are going to be the test of the metal for the Colorado Buffaloes and Coach Prime.
Yep. Now I have to go back and watch the film of what I said. I think I might have actually took the easy route and kind of play like the middle of the road. But let me be 100% clear. They are not winning next week. USC is too good of a team, and what Colorado have been able to put together in their first couple of weeks, fantastic. But Oregon is a disciplined program. Oh, that's the word that I said. I said when they play a more disciplined team, they weren't
Mhm.
going to win. USC is a way more disciplined program than what Oregon was. So if you think that they're going to roll into that game and even have a chance, I'm curious to see what the Vegas line is going to be, because if the spread's not USC by 21, bet the over. Bet the over in that. It won't be close.
We said last week that it was going to be a test, and we wouldn't be surprised if they were 3-2. We would be happy and ecstatic if they were 4-1.
That's what we said. Yep.
So yeah, we did. Now, and if we said that if they were 5-0, then we knew that everything was the real deal, Holyfield, right there, and all the hype was well worth it. Well, the hype itself, and look, I'm choosing my words. I'm choosing my words carefully in light of certain news that may be coming up. Let's just leave that surprise and suspense for much later, especially for all of you that are going to be watching this show later coming on this year. But that said, I think that Colorado got something that they needed, and that was humility. And there is no great champion that has faced adversity, and in the face of adversity, and if they lost, has come back stronger after that, or had faced adversity and stepped up in order to do it. A great champion needs to have some type of loss underneath them. Remember how many times LeBron lost to the Pistons, or lost to the Magic in the Eastern Conference Finals, or lost to the San Antonio Spurs and the Dallas Mavericks before finally winning a championship?
Yep.
There's been multiple times on that. How often did Jordan lose to Bird and lose to what's his name, Isaiah and the Bad Boy Pistons, before he finally broke through and became a champion himself? Dion, yeah, he's got all the hype. He had everything that happened, but when he was faced with adversity, they put up a valiant effort and now know where they have to be in order to be considered the best of the best. He got that straight taste of humility right there, and I want to see him this week bounce back and see how his coaching is after that. Then I can make a decision on whether Coach Prime is all talk and all clicks, or he's all win and all family.
All right. Okay. I like it. There's something that I want to talk about as well, because there's been a lot of conference.
They are going to lose.
What'd you
They
say?
are going to lose to USC.
Oh, yes.
They are, but it won't be 42-6.
It won't be 42-6. Coach Prime is going to have a bounce back. But like I said, in my opinion, USC looks like they're a more disciplined team than what Colorado has. And look, give Coach Prime and them, it has to be said. I know everybody's talked about it, but this was a team that won one game last year. This is a team that has been retooled from the coaching staff to the players to a lot of different areas. Okay. Coach Prime came out and said, enjoy this now, or take your shots while you can now, because given time, they're going to be the program to beat. And look, I don't bet against Coach Prime. That's not something that is a smart thing to do, as in certain circumstances it might pay off. But but like long term, he has the track record at all levels, from coaching his kids teams when they were coming up to playing himself. And I'm not going to bet against Coach Prime long term. I think that you have to give the program time for the roots that they've planted to get strong. So,
I
hats off
agree.
to that Colorado team. There are a lot of haters out there, but Coach Prime to me is like the Nick Saban of the West.
That's pretty high praise right there.
Hey, I'm a huge fan of what Coach Saban does, the discipline that he instills in his players, and I don't see that same discipline. You can have swag and still be disciplined, and I don't see that in the Colorado Buffaloes. And man, you know
They're
what?
going to have discipline pretty daggone fast and pretty soon. I'll say that.
Yep,
They're going to
yep.
need it to get through this season that way.
With the division and conference realignment, right? Everybody's
Mhm.
talking about the Pac-12, and even David Cunningham, which I have highlighted on the screen, said that the Pac-12 has some good teams. What conference do you think has the strongest teams, and who do you think's gonna win out to represent the national championship? It's looking like it's the SEC, it's the Pac-12, and that's it. There's a few ACC teams that are
I wouldn't discount the Big Ten or whatever the heck they're called now. Even
yeah.
though they've got like 19 teams, I wouldn't discount Michigan and Ohio State.
Yep.
One of those two, I think, will end up making it. You're going to have probably one, definitely one coming out of the SEC, one coming out of the Pac-12, and I will actually say, with the role that they were on and how they went up to Death Valley and took care of Clemson, we might see one out of the ACC, and that might be Florida State itself. Yeah. I don't
Okay.
know. I saw that game as, I was flipping through the channels because that one was on. And I've got some pretty nice ties up there with some people up in Clemson. So, in a way, I kind of root for them when I'm not rooting for Hawaii. But I would say that, Clemson Clemson's on a down year, but Florida State, they need, they're getting themselves ready for it. And they could definitely be that fourth team out of there, especially if Notre Dame doesn't go on another, doesn't if even if Notre Dame wins out for the rest of the season, and Florida State wins out for the rest of the season. Well, obviously Florida State will be undefeated at that point, but I would say even if with the one loss of Florida State, it might be between them and Notre Dame for the fourth team. Because
Okay.
up having either Michigan or Ohio State out of the Big Ten. And I will tell you, now that Harbaugh is back with them, and after what Ohio State did to Notre Dame, we might be having some real good games coming up here pretty soon, buddy.
What's impressed me out of the Big Ten Conference is both the Buckeyes and Michigan are 4-0 right now. In conference play, they haven't played any of the big hitters in their conference, but overall, even out of 4 games, Michigan has only allowed 23 points against, and the
Yeah.
Buckeyes have only allowed 34 points against. Now, we'll see how that holds up when they got to roll into Penn State. Maryland, who's undefeated but not in the top 25, they put up 149 points and have only allowed 49 to be scored against them. And the other surprise, the Air Force Academy, currently undefeated.
Oh God! So
Off
I
we
guess,
go into the wild blue yonder,
hey,
flying
so
high into the sun.
I guess
Here we
all of
go,
Colorado football.
beat our thunder. Adam boys, give it a gun, give it a gun. Down we die, spouting our flames from under. Off with one hell of a roar. We live in fame or go down in flames. Hey, nothing can stop the U.S. Air Force.
At the time that King was just going ahead and spewing out his bullcrap about the Air Force, Devontae Adams on a 4th and 1 just caught a good 35-yard pass from Jimmy Garoppolo. It is now 6-0 Las Vegas Raiders over the Pittsburgh Steelers. Point after pending. And I will say, okay, good. Dave Cunningham has already got it because I'm just getting to the point after. It is now 7-0 Las Vegas. And they did a crowd shot over there, and it looked like DJ Khaled was in the stands, but then it was just some fat guy with a beard in a Pittsburgh Steelers jersey. So it really wasn't him.
Hey, here's
He looked like him, though.
yeah.
And Devontae, thank you very much for sealing my win today in my fantasy football league.
Very nice, very nice. That's right. You do have Devontae Adams.
Yes,
I
do.
want to thank Mike Braithwaite for popping into the building. He said, "We don't care about Kelce and Swift in the least. We don't either. But you know what? It's sports related. It's controversy, and it got people to comment." So job well done. Hey, Mike. Hey, man, I appreciate you popping in over on YouTube. Before we get into the next thing, actually, let's also get this out the way. Look, we're streaming live across multiple platforms, as we've talked about already. If there's a like button, hit that like button for us. Help us out on the algorithms, all right? That's the algorithm over here at WTF Nation Radio. If you don't, the terrorists win, and we don't want that, all right? So hit the like button. We thank you. Said anytime, Big Daddy. Hey, I got called Big Smooth at a flag football game. My lady who's watching can confirm this. The quarterback threw me a pass. I caught it. And as we're on the sidelines, he called me Big Smooth. That's the first time I had ever heard that name before. My lady was cracking up laughing. All right. So, new nickname alert. King Smith, aka Big Smooth. Hey, what you think about that, coach? I can't hear you. All right. Oh, can anybody hear me? No. What's going on? Okay, there we go. I'm back. Coach, are you back? All right. Coach might need to disconnect and reconnect. My audio looks like it's working. So I'm going to play a video. All right, thanks. Yep. So people can't hear me. All right. So, coach, you might need to check yourself, fool. Break yourself. While we do that, let's play another video. Look, if you thought you were having a bad day, hey, there we go. I just heard him. Coach.
I'm back. I'm back.
All right,
Yeah.
you are back. You are back. Okay, hey,
Play the
I'm
video.
gonna play a video real quick, and I'm gonna ask the question: if you thought that you were having a bad day, check this video out.
Here is the reigning National League batting champion and fouls it off his foot.
I've never seen a foul ball like that.
Yeah. One more time. A foul ball to the jump. Let's play it again.
Here is the reigning National League batting champion and fouls it off his foot.
I've never seen a foul ball like that.
I've been hit in the regions down below playing football, not wearing the cup. It is not fun. Coach, I have to ask you, all right, man to man, in your Army days or in your sports playing days, did you ever get hit to the junk by any physical contact?
Hardest I've ever been hit in the junk was during a basketball game. I went up and I went to go take a charge. Somebody was coming right down on the wing on a fast break. I got in there, planted both of my feet, and I put my arms straight up underneath me. And this guy went up for a layup, and his knee went right to my ding dong. And I went down. The ref called a block saying that I moved my feet. I seriously picked up the ball and I one hand chucked it to him to, give him the thing out of that. He ended up like missing it and like it went right to his chest, like one of those ones where like went through the hand and like hit him right in the chest after that. That's how hard I threw that thing at him for calling a freaking block on me instead of calling a charge because the guy was lining up for free throws. I got onto the daggone key and I was lining up, and I swear to God, I was just bent over. I wasn't trying to box out whatsoever. I was trying to recuperate to see if I had lost them or if one
Yeah.
of them had gone up in my taint. But you know what? Jeff McNeil, the guy who you're talking about right here, the former 2022 National League batting championship, batting champion, getting hit right in the testicles. He really doesn't have to worry about that all too much. You see, he plays for the New York Mets, so that means that they've either shrunk or he had to sell them and cut them off in order to put that uniform on. Because really, if anybody, including Mets fans, or anybody who is associated with the Mets, they basically have no testicles whatsoever. So it's not too bad. It's okay. He'll be all right. And we
Hey,
just got a touchdown. I don't know, I just saw it. It's a 72-yard pass play. Nice to see that Kenny Pickett's actually throwing some bombs out here. And it's now going to be, after the point after, 7-7. Steelers have tied it up. Who the hell scored that? Austin scored that. 72 yards.
okay. Getting into the game, Calvin Austin. That's a name that I did not think I was going to hear today. So shout out to Mike Braithwaite for giving us the update, and then David for giving us the score. It is 7-7 first quarter. It might be a high scoring Sunday night primetime game. I heard a stat, and we're about to get into NFL news actually. I heard a stat that Kenny Pickett is like 4-1 in primetime games since he's been in the league. And Josh McDaniels, as coach of the Raiders in a primetime game, is 0 for 3.
Yep.
So I thought that was interesting. Who do you have winning this game, or who would you like to win this game? I wanted to see the Raiders get this home win, man. What
All
about
right.
you?
All right. I'm going to piss off a lot of the military because a lot of the military is Steelers fans. I don't know how many of y'all there
Right?
are out there, but I know I have a theory on that, and that has to go back to the Sunday night or the Monday night football times and the national plays of the year, or the national games back in the 70s and 80s. The Cowboys and the Steelers were always on, and it always seemed to be that people from Texas and people from, Western Pennsylvania, Eastern Ohio, they were always in the military, and they were always either a damn Cowboys fan or a Steelers fan, but they were national teams. So I say this, I know that there's a hell of a lot more Steeler fans that are out there. But I'm pulling for Vegas tonight, okay? Those motherfuckers brought Mike Tyson out to the game. Anytime you bring Mike Tyson, I'm all for you, okay? I wish the Jets would actually bring out Mike Tyson. Maybe he can knock some sense into Zach Wilson and Robert Saleh and everybody else on that damn team. But I'm going with Vegas tonight. I like Jimmy G. I got to have a fellow Paisan, even as he gets sacked by J.J. Watt. I gotta pull for a fellow Paisan on this one. So Jimmy G and his shitty Subway commercials with his Nona, you're my guy for tonight. Keep throwing it to Devontae. Let me win my daggone game this week over on the fantasy team. But yeah, that's who I've got going.
Okay, let's talk about it. Let's get right into it. David Cunningham teed us off earlier with some of the NFL highlights and things that occurred today. Oh man, where do we start? Do we want to start with Miami? Do we want to start with the Cowgirls?
Man,
Coach, take it away.
no. I think we do need to start off with Miami, and let's be also quite honest. Even though the Air Force Academy is freaking 4-0, that is the lone football bright spot in the state of Colorado this week, because the Buffaloes did pretty daggone bad. All right, got blown out by Oregon, but not as bad as the daggone Broncos today against the freaking 70 points. 70-20. Okay, I mean, for crying out loud, that defense, if you had Denver's defense on your for your fantasy this week, you lost. It should have been a history of a blowout. If you somehow won with Denver's defense playing today, then you must have had everybody else, in like the ghost of Tom Brady and Jerry Rice on your daggone teams. Because my God, that Tua's throwing no-look passes. Tua Tagovailoa, for crying out loud. People thought that he was going to be the next Jamarcus Russell. They obviously had never seen Zach Wilson before, but then they thought that Tua was going to be a bust. This guy just dropped 70 on you, okay? I mean, that's like in the NBA, Kobe dropped 81. This would have been like Brian Scalabrine dropping 81 on somebody. Tua Tagovailoa, I mean, it got so bad at the end of the game, they put the Jets' old backup quarterback into the game, and he scored 2 touchdowns. By the way, I'm still ticked off because Mike White should be a New York Jet, not Zach Wilson, but we'll get to that later. But man, oh man, I have not seen a score that bad ever in the NFL. And I'm old, okay? I'm old. The Jets have sucked all my life, and the Jets have never been beaten that bad. Sean Payton, with all the daggone great offensive weapons that he's had, has never dropped 70. Drew Brees has never had 70 points. Alvin Kamara was on a team that scored 70 points, and all the great receivers and all that. But daggone, you know what? Right now, Russell Wilson, I'm sorry, brother. You are now in that Zach Wilson, Justin Fields level of quarterback play.
Ooh.
You are that bad. You are past your prime. You need to go to Colorado down there in Boulder and ask Coach Prime for some prime so you can get something back and actually play at this level right now. And I will tell you that your pride and your ego has gotten a little bit too much. You're about $50 million richer than you were if you would have stayed in Seattle. That's great. But your team right now is $100 million poorer because the season tickets have now gone on to the black market and the resale market. My God almighty, that was terrible today. Denver, you need to go when you get back over there to that ridiculous airport over there in Denver that's bigger than, the size of Rhode Island. You need to go over there, go past the Illuminati statues, go to the first dispensary that you can find, and every single one of you need to go pick up a blunt, get high, and completely forget about absolutely everything. Just like how you forgot about how to play defense in your entire offensive playbook.
Yeah.
Okay? That's how bad that was. I mean, good night. They were terrible. In the words of a fellow Alabaman, Charles Barkley, they were terrible.
Terrible. Now, Coach, I have this graphic up that said that the Dolphins scored 70 points today alone, and the Broncos all season 69. I could not believe it, so I went and looked it up. Week 1 against the Raiders, 16. Week 2 against the Commanders, 33. So that's 49 plus 20 today against the Dolphins. That makes 69 points that they've had in 3 weeks of football, and the Broncos scored 70 just today alone. Now, the Broncos have a chance to get right because they're playing the Chicago Bears, but it's at Chicago on the 1st of October. So
that's like that. Oh God, that's like that's got to be the worst NFL game of the year right there. Week 4, and we're already having the worst NFL game of the year. That game is going to be like 3. It's going to be like a hockey score. It would be like the Blackhawks and the Avalanche playing. Somebody might score a safety just by throwing it out of their own end zone. It will probably end up being Justin Fields, and that's what it's going to end up being, like a 3-2 game. It's going to be a hockey score. That's how bad that game's going to be. My God.
The only reason that people are going to show up to the game is it's going to be homers just to see if they could get their first win of the season at home. Because guess what? Denver is already favored in Vegas by 2.5 points, and the over under is 45. So I think
45.
I don't even think it's going to hit 45. I don't.
The
I
over under
don't.
should be 5. That's I mean, God Almighty. Look, and I'll say this about I'm bashing Denver right now, but I mean, look, Denver, you've at least got some type of competency in your offense. I mean, your defense is pretty bad,
It's bad.
but I mean, you're also going up against the second worst quarterback in the NFL in Justin Fields, and the QB play of the Bears has been as equally bad as the Browns have been for the past 20 seasons. Okay, that's how that you're going into a decrepit stadium that nobody likes to be in, and you're just coming off of the worst showing of the state of Colorado football since that last Saturday. You're the freshest in the mind. You need to bounce back and do something over there, and especially with Sean Payton as the coach, that loudmouth dumbass. Oh my God, that game is going to be horrendous next year. You know what? I'm going to actually ask this question. Are there going to be more fans in the stadium, or are there going to be more people not watching the game? What is going to be higher, the number of fans in the stadium or the people not watching that game? I think the number of fans in that stadium is going to be higher, because even the Bears fans don't want to watch this team. They're much like Jet fans. And if I were a Bronco fan, I wouldn't be wanting to watch that game either, because it's going to be fugly. It's going to be fugly. The whole situation's fugly. I haven't seen anything fugglier than since I've seen the kids from Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift. You know.
Hey,
and let me clarify something right now. I don't give half of a rat's ass about Taylor Swift.
me
For
neither.
all of
You
you
know what?
commenting on that on Facebook and everything, nobody gives a shit about Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift, except for the people that don't watch football, and they we call idiots. So only idiots care about this.
Yes. Hey, look, we have to do a bit of marketing over here. And the fact that we had so many people comment before we even went live, I thought was fantastic. And I said, pat myself on the back. Job well done. Now, man, hey, coach, so let's start here. Baltimore Ravens losing to a kicker that made 4 field goals of over 50 plus yards.
That was a brutal game today. Lamar Jackson still can't deliver it, man. I don't know what the hell it is. He had that great MVP season, and then since then, I know the injuries have taken the toll, but it's like he hits a wall every time a game comes up, and he just can't bring them over to win. He led the team in passing, led the team in rushing, scored a couple touchdowns, but then the historically good Baltimore defense just kept getting chip shotted, and then they tied the game up and lost it in overtime. That's not clutch, that's coaching, and maybe the Harbaugh era might be coming. I don't know. He did win the Super Bowl 10 years ago with them. I don't know. Maybe there's some signs that the Harbaugh era might be running its course over there in Baltimore.
Mike Braithwaite over on YouTube said he's not getting paid enough to perform. You think that's the case?
Yeah. Lamar Jackson's not getting paid enough. Oh, I'm going to be so sad that a guy's not paying multiple millions of dollars, that he's not getting paid enough to perform. He's a professional, and he is an athlete. He is being paid to play a child's game for his profession. Okay? Don't give me that bullshit that he's not getting paid enough. If he feels that he isn't getting paid enough, that means that he lacks the maturity to actually lead a team to victory. For me, I never heard Tom Brady getting pissed at and bitched and crying and moaning that he wasn't getting paid enough, even though he deserved it. He always kept that silent. Lamar Jackson, no, he wants to go on Twitter and Instagram and X and all that crap and voice his displeasure over how he wasn't getting paid enough. Grow up.
CJ Stroud out of the Ohio State Buckeyes, my bad, has made history as the first quarterback to have at least 900 passing yards, 4 touchdowns, and 0 interceptions in his first 3 starts, according to ESPN stats and information research. Do you think that the Texans finally have their guy that can at least be their franchise QB for the next 6 to 8 years?
Until he does something stupid off the field like what Deshaun Watson did? Yes, I do. I've always liked CJ Stroud. I thought he was a good quarterback. I actually thought that he would have been I would say that between Richardson, Bryce Young, and CJ Stroud, I thought CJ was actually going to give the biggest impact out of the gate between all 3 of them. So seeing him succeed over there in Houston and coming out with the win today, surprising win today against the Jaguars, I thought that was a testament to how good CJ Stroud's going to be in the NFL. I hope he keeps it up. He's a great talent, and I think that Houston has something that needs to be cultivated to become the rock solid franchise quarterback that they've been yearning for ever since drafting which Carr was it? Derek Carr in 2002. That's how long it's been since they've been looking for a franchise quarterback.
With 35 seconds left, the Minnesota Vikings converted a 4th down and got to the Chargers' 6-yard line. They did not have any timeouts, down 4 to the Los Angeles Chargers, and ended up wasting about 20-some seconds and then threw a pick. What did you think about what happened at the end of that game?
That play right there, I don't know what was going on with Kirk Cousins. I know that he wanted to try to milk the clock. I would have gone up and spiked the ball as well, but there's different ways to play it. So be it on the play call. And that was I'm not going to say a fluke interception. The pass that he threw was a little bit off center. If he just would have fastballed it right there to number 87, the white guy, I can't remember his name, Huntington, I want to say, or Hutchinson. If he would have done a fastball right there, right down the middle to him, he would have been A-OK on that. Instead, it went up, it got tipped twice, and then intercepted in the end zone. Now the Vikings are 0-3. There's a lot of holes on that team, and there's talk that because he's going to be a free agent at the end of the year, that they're actually going to trade him. I don't know whether or not the Jets should be on the fucking phone, but I would definitely be on the phone right now to Minnesota. Just saying.
Who was the Green Bay game the biggest letdown, as they were the 2-0 pretender Saints, which were up 17-0 in the 4th quarter, ends up losing to the Packers at Lambeau Field, in which they decided to score and go for 2 early. They get it, right? Because everybody was like, wait, what's going on? Why are they going for 2 right now? They didn't need to. Yet they did. They pulled it off. They got it. And then they go back down and get the game-winning touchdown at the end. What do you think about that?
All right, I will say my buddy Bob, him and I, we talk constantly about the New Orleans Saints. We've been watching. We were neighbors over there on Fort Bragg together. We used to come over and watch all the Sunday football together in my garage. He's a massive Saints fan. I've always talked to him whenever the Saints have been on TV about the game and everything. When David Carr got sacked with that shoulder injury, and it looks like it's going to be a long time that he'll be back. Ooh. He felt like he was deflated out of there. Jameis Winston and Taysom Hill, that combination of quarterback play not the greatest. It wasn't successful last year after Breeze retired. And then having famous Jameis or Crab Leg Jameis or, whatever you want to call him, coming back and trying to lead that offense, it was sputtered out completely in the second half. And much like it was with Aaron Rodgers, it just felt like that New Orleans was deflated out of there. When Love went for the 2 after that first play, I heard some analysts talking about right now it's about a 50% chance that you will convert on that 2-point conversion. That's kind of the league average. That's the way the teams are running it right there. So the odds are about 50-50. If you had gone for the 2-point off of this one and didn't get it, you were going to go to either one of them. So the odds were that you were going to convert one of those 2-point conversions. It would either be 17-17, or in the instance that you did convert the first 2-point conversion, you can just score a touchdown, in which Jordan Love did, and then convert the point after and be up by 1. Now, I will say something about the Saints kicker. The Saints kicker is a rookie, and if you saw him with his helmet off at the end of the game, you would be wondering if this guy just got his first pubes last week. This is an absolute kid. I swear to God, this kid's like a baby face out of there. But he was walking on the field at the end of the game after shanking the game-winning field goal with about 6 seconds left. And as a kicker, you got to know your place within the NFL. You do not walk on the field to shake hands with others after the game, especially if you shank the kick. So this guy's got to learn the ways of the NFL a hell of a lot faster. He might also want to be trying to shave right now his baby face and try to grow out whatever beard that you can. I've got a 17-year-old son that's got more facial hair than you do, and that guy needs to kind of get a little bit more oomph in him and a little bit more testosterone in him. Get it legally. Don't get it illegally, because then you'll be on the banned list.
Dallas was favored to win by double-digit points. It was one of the largest point spreads this week by Vegas. And even though they were traveling to Arizona, people were still surprised that, and especially with the money, all of the money was on Dallas. Are you surprised that Dallas went in and just dropped an egg against this Cardinals defense?
Well, I'm surprised that Dallas lost, obviously, because, I didn't think Arizona was going to be that good, but I wasn't surprised that I'm surprised about when Dallas loses. See, there's a certain cycle that always happens. Dallas always ends up beating up on bad teams during the year. The fan base says, this is our year. Then they start losing games. Then they somehow either miss the playoffs or get eliminated in the first round of playoffs. And then, the whole cycle starts back over again where they have pie on their face. So to happen in week 3 that, that Dak reminded himself that he was Dak Prescott, and, that meme of Ray Charles throwing, for the, being the quarterback for the Dallas Cowboys is now back. It feels like maybe somehow in at least one section of the NFL world that all is right again, that the Dallas Cowboys are now reminding themselves that they are the Dallas Cowboys, and their Super Bowl highlights are still stuck in VHS.
Here's what's crazy. Here's why I think they lost the game. Statistically, both of the teams were even. Now, the Cowboys were the only team that had a turnover in which they threw an interception, but they had time of possession. They had more first downs, more total yards. But peep this, in the red zone, while Arizona was 2 for 2, now they did have like 2 long plays.
Yeah.
The Cowboys were in the red zone 5 times. Only one of those turned into points. That's crazy to me.
That's Dak Prescott for you, ladies and gentlemen. That's Cowboy football. How about them Cowboys? Oh God, I can't say that too loud. My back door in the dungeon's open, and my next door neighbor is a Cowboys fan. He knows I'm a diehard Jet fan, so last week I kind of stayed away from him, but now I'm talking shit, and I really shouldn't be talking shit whatsoever.
Okay, all right, now, Coach, because this is our show, I had to do it. But before I have to do it, let's see. We got a couple of updates. We got interception Pittsburgh recovers. All right, I appreciate the update. Dallas is going to the bowl, the toilet bowl. And yes, David Cunningham put a comment over on Facebook that I absolutely cannot wait for. He said Stephen A. Smith will have a field day with the Cowboys tomorrow. I can't wait.
It kind of makes me wish that him and that schmuck that yells all the time, what's his name, the one on Fox now with the Skip Bayless, kind of makes me wish that they were together again, just so that I can hear Stephen A. tell Skip Bayless to shut the hell up and how bad the Cowboys were.
All right, now the last NFL update that we're going to get into.
Fuck me.
Let's just let this be how this team is gone, all right? Because there were some chances.
You're furious, Tony. I mean, you can see it on the face, the frustration, and look at it. You know you're frustrated when your teeth come out. Get a grip.
Jets, Jets. Hey, man, they had a chance. There were like 4 games going on all at the same time in which you were literally like, yo, these games could go either way. That Ravens game, the Green Bay game, that Patriots-Jets game. There was a chance right there that they could have pulled it off, and then the Jets did what Jets did, man.
Okay. Let me stop you right now with that, because every Jet fan knew that there was no chance. There was zero chance. That bullshit touchdown at the fourth quarter that made it 13-10 didn't do anything whatsoever for any Jet fan, because we already knew that the moment that this game kicked off and Zach Wilson was the quarterback, the game was over. Okay? The game was over. Let me say this. In the last 10 games, going all the way back to last season, the Jets are 1-9. The only game that they won was the Monday night game in which Aaron Rodgers started that game.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? And Aaron Rodgers didn't complete a pass, played 4 snaps, and had his 5th snap of the New York Jet be his Achilles tendon. Now, let me be quite blunt here. The last time the Jets have beaten the Patriots was in December of 2015. You know what's happened since December of 2015? All of the kids that Joe Biden sniffed back then are now of legal age. Okay? President Obama was giving himself the Presidential Medal of Freedom. Okay? Donald Trump's little tiny hands had yet to smear itself on a Bible to be sworn in as president. And he, let's go with that. There's my politics out of the way. All right? Let me say this. R. Kelly was still pissing on underage women. Bill Cosby was still roofing freaking women at that point. Okay? None of that shit happened. The entire second half of the first portion of the MCU still hadn't gone. We still hadn't gone to all the shitty movies that we've had for the past 4 years in the MCU. Nobody had ever heard of TikTok by then. All right. There was only 2 shows on WTF Nation Radio, and that was the Monday edition. 3 shows. The Monday edition, Sergeant's Time, and Friday Night Freedom. They didn't come to you 6 nights a week on U.S. Army WTF Moments and WTF Nation Radio across Facebook, YouTube, X, and Kick. All right. It has been so daggone long that that there have been 8 starting quarterbacks for the daggone for the Cleveland Browns. Okay, they went through freaking Johnny Manziel, Baker Mayfield, and now we're on Deshaun Watson in that time period. since the last time the Jets have won. The Jets starting quarterback for that time ended up becoming a freaking meme of himself and is now broadcasting on Thursday Night Football wearing suits without shirts and showing off of his damn man chest. That's how long it's been. Tom Brady retired twice and won 3 Super Bowls with 2 separate teams since the last time the Jets beat the fucking Patriots. The goddamn Boston Red Sox have won more World Series in that time than the Jets have beaten the Patriots. Okay, the fucking Chicago Cubs, they didn't win for 108 years. They've won a World Series since the time that the Patriots last lost to the New York Jets. All right, it has been 8 years, 15 games, and Zach Wilson is 0-5 against the Patriots. Sam Darnold, 0-4 or 0-6 against the Patriots. There have been such the Jets have gone through 4 coaches in that time period, and they still haven't beaten the fucking Patriots. All right? Every Jet fan knew that at 13-10, the Jets were going to do something stupid. And what happened? Zach Wilson got a fucking sacked in the end zone for a safety. Zach Wilson, right now, I swear to Christ, in the time period that the Jets last beat the Patriots, Zach Wilson's moms finally gave birth to the kids and then had sex with Zach Wilson afterwards. They weren't even MILFs at that time. They were barely married. They didn't even procreate. They had to wait 8 years in order to become the MILFs that Zach Wilson tries to go ahead and slay. That's how long it's been. All right. Ice had hair. Radar had hair. King weighed about 150 pounds less. I weigh 200 pounds less since the last time the Patriots lost against the New York Jets. And you know what? It's not going to happen for this year either. You know why? Because of the goddamn Jets. And the freaking Jets can't get out of themselves. After the game today, Robert Saleh said that he is sticking with Zach Wilson as the quarterback. What the hell reason are you doing that for? You're going to end up winning one game that Zach Wilson can't play, and whoever the Tim Boyle is will end up winning it by a miracle, which is going to screw up your shot over there for daggone the USC quarterback, and then you're going to end up drafting Penix or whatever the hell the dude's name is, and in 4 years from now, he's going to be a bust, just like Zach Wilson, just like Sam Darnold, just like Mark Sanchez, just like Chad Pennington, just like every other fucking quarterback that you have drafted ever since goddamn Joe Willie Namath out of the University of I Kissed My Sister Alabama in 1965. Are you kidding me, Jets? Are you freaking kidding me? Fireman Ed is going to leave again and then come back when Aaron Rodgers comes back. In fact, at this point right now, Fireman Ed should just go ahead and stop going to the games. Show them how much of a clown show Zach Wilson is as a quarterback. Don't show up anymore, Fireman Ed. Wait until Aaron Rodgers comes back next year. And then we can complain about the O-line not protecting him when the freaking turf at the Meadowlands, the godforsaken Jimmy Hoffa, Achilles tendon tearing for Testaverde and for Rodgers turf over there at daggone Meadowlands, does it again to somebody else. Maybe Garrett Wilson this time, maybe Sauce Gardner, maybe somebody who actually had a daggone Hall of Fame future ahead of them, but because they played for the Jets, they didn't realize that potential because this damn franchise is cursed. It is absolutely freaking cursed. They're never going to beat the Patriots in my lifetime ever again, unless the gods of football shine down upon them and say, you know what, Jet fans, for 53 fucking years you have been suffering. It's long enough. Let's give you a chance. And it was supposed to be that chance this year, but no. Aaron Rodgers decided to snap that curse right in half, along with his Achilles tendon. Oh, my God almighty. And you know what? I said I wasn't going to go on my annual Jets rant for this until next week. And you're right. I'm not going on it. This is a frustration rant right now. My annual Jet rant is going to be happening at halftime next week when they have to play freaking Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce. And somehow Taylor fucking Swift is going to show up over there at the Meadowlands next week and laugh her ass off as Travis Kelce is humping the football, pretending it to be her pancake ass all over the Jets. And at halftime, it looks like the daggone score of Colorado against Oregon. It'll be 42-6 by halftime with 2 fucking field goals because Zach Wilson can't fucking march the goddamn team into an end zone whatsoever during a time that it's crucial. Thank God the Yankees were eliminated from the playoffs today, because if not, I'd be even more pissed off. Back to you, King. How you doing? Oh, yo, wait a minute.
I've been talking this entire time on mute.
I've got something right here. Keep ranting. I have to try and call my kid's mom. No problem on that. I can continue to rant.
I'm good now. I'm good. I'm good.
Bullshit.
I'm good.
Bullshit.
We're good.
Look,
We're good.
I'm gonna give you something right here. If you guys ever go on Reddit, if you ever go,
Oh no! Actually, now I want to hear it. Please.
All right,
continue.
hold on 1 second. I'm gonna give you something right here that ends up happening. I am on the subreddit NY Jets on Reddit, okay? And somebody asked the question, Chiefs fans, should I be worried about being harassed by Jets fans next week at the game? And it says, no. Hi, my husband and I are headed to the Jets game next week. We are going with the Jets and the Packers fans, and we are Chiefs fans. Should we be concerned about wearing opposing teams' gear at MetLife Stadium? You know what my reply to her was? I said, no, we'll be too busy booing Zach Wilson to care about you and your husband, because that's the absolute damn truth. And might I add, I already have 100 upvotes on that format because it's the damn truth. We are not going to be going to the game next week to care whatsoever about freaking Taylor Swift being there or Patrick Mahomes or Travis Kelce or whatsoever. No, we're going to go there specifically to boo Zach Wilson, because if Zach Wilson is the starting quarterback for the Jets, the game is already lost. And if Zach Wilson starts any more games for the rest of the year, you can go ahead and bet the line, because that line is definitely going to be met. How much was New England favored by today?
Ooh, I'd have to take a look.
I think it was like 3 or 4 points. Guess what? They got the over. They beat the spread. All right. And no matter what, you know what? If they say the Jets plus or minus 10 points, take the under. Take the under. Okay. They're never going to score 10 points. They're going to get one bullshit touchdown, and they're going to be kicking field goals for the rest of the day, because Zach Wilson's too worried about slinging moms and slinging everything else than he is worried about the goddamn freaking offense whatsoever, because Zach Wilson sucks so much ass. He should be a freaking backup dancer to Lizzo.
Oh, wow. Hey, y'all, please come back next week for Coach's annual Jets rant. We might, can we do that at the beginning of the show, Coach?
No, I got to wait till halftime. I gotta wait till halftime.
All right, that's what you said.
Because no, I'm being serious, because I mean the kickoff will happen. I can't do it at the beginning of the show, because right at the beginning of the show, well, actually, you know what? You're right. It might happen at the beginning of the show, because if the Jets go ahead and kick off and they say they defer to the second half, knowing the Jets on Sunday Night Football, they'll end up kicking the ball off, and there actually will be something that we haven't seen in the NFL since the last time the Jets beat the Patriots, and that's a kickoff return for a touchdown. Okay, that's what will end up happening. That's what will end up happening. And I'll probably be pissed off the moment that happens.
The Los Angeles Rams. Here we go. Breaking news. I used to have a breaking news thing, but thanks to David Cunningham, the Los Angeles Rams have placed Georgia rookie quarterback Stetson Bennett on their non-football injury list this past Wednesday. Rumors are that he has an alcohol problem. You know what? Being that he was almost 30, okay, one of the only people legally able to drink, this does not surprise me.
As I crack open another cold one.
Man, we're gonna have to cut our show again. My kid needs to be picked up, and her mother is not picking up, and I've even tried calling too. So here at the sports bar, real life happens. Okay, real life happens. So we're gonna get to the story about what would you do if you were a parent and your kid got punched in the gut. We have the video. Let's take a look at this video and y'all tell me how mad y'all would be. Okay, let's see right here. Boom. All right, let's show that one more time so that y'all can see it. All right. Whew. Now, the story behind it. Okay, so that coach has since been arrested,
Good.
obviously. And I saw that and was like, there is no way that if I'm on the sideline and that's my kid, and that my kid was the one that got hit in the stomach, there's no way I'm still on that sideline. I am in that coach's face quickly, and I am also likely to be arrested as well as that coach for punching my kid. Coach, thoughts?
A coach does not cross that line, period, whatsoever. I don't care if it's his own kid. I don't care what intensity is happening like that. There are lines that you are doing. When you are coaching somebody, you are raising men just in the same way that you are doing it to your children. Now, if you get fired up and let your emotions take over to you, you are not a coach anymore. At this point, you are a liability. And if it were me, I, like you, would go ahead, jump that stands, and I would be beating the ever living hell out of that coach. In fact, I would actually go as far as, you remember that that brawl that happened out in the pier in Mississippi a couple months ago.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
you remember that steel chair being used to hit that person?
Yeah, that wasn't in Mississippi.
Oh,
That was in Alabama.
oh, that was in Alabama. Okay, one of those states where, yeah,
Roll
one of the,
Tide.
yeah, roll tide right there. Okay, I would be, there would be a chair shot definitely to that coach. That coach would not only be getting a chair shot, he would be getting curb stomped unbelievably right there on the field. I would take the freaking the biggest O lineman's, cleats that he was wearing, and I would take him off of his feet. I would put it on my own feet, and I would curb stomp that coach until his headset was ingrained in his brain, just like he was getting a chip from Elon Musk.
It's, to me, sad that it happened. This occurred in Georgia. The coach is going to be charged with simple battery and is likely to face administrative discipline as well. He was a coach at an Atlanta public school called Mays High School. He's not a teacher, okay? And different states have different
Yep.
requirements. The Georgia High School Association only mandates that community coaches perform a training program, which is something like attending a coaching seminar to get the necessary approval, and then from there it's up to your coaches or your school's principal or athletic director, if they have somebody like that. Or my old high school, there's a committee that hires the head coaches
Yeah.
to then, decide who's the coach for that team. I've heard of some things where eh, punitive stuff like running drills in, hot weather when you're not supposed to. I've heard of things like that, but on a televised game, and even let's say today, in the age of social media where everybody has a phone, I'm surprised that a man can lose his temper like that and put his hands on a student and not think that people were going to see it, nor would there be any consequences to it.
No, I agree with that too much. I agree with that too. He let his emotions get the best of him, and he made an absolutely stupid decision. And whatever discipline he is facing, I fully recommend that he no longer coaches in the state of Georgia whatsoever. And I hope he finds gainful employment stocking shelves with Zach Wilson. Because Zach Wilson might be the only job that's left for him after there. I don't even think he deserves to be in the CFL or the XFL or the USFL.
Now,
is this guy.
Dang. How about Division III, coach? Could Zach Wilson quarterback a team in Division III?
At this point in time, no. No. That man, you know what? He is at the point right now where there are two quarterback names that are being compared with Zach Wilson. And those two quarterback names are Ryan Leaf and Jamarcus Russell. That's how bad he is. Damn, you can't be that bad unless you are that damn bad. And he is that damn bad. I mean, for crying out loud, look at Baker Mayfield. Baker Mayfield's got the Tampa Bay rolling right now after Tom Brady. And now all of a sudden, he ain't the big bust anymore. But who was drafted right behind Baker Mayfield? Oh, actually, I take that back. It was Sam Darnold that was drafted right behind Baker Mayfield. Another fucking jet bust.
Hey,
Jesus.
This is true. Now, there's one question that I want to answer, and then we're going to have to close the show because it looks like I do have to go get my kid. But Jeremy Brown over on Facebook, thank you for viewing. Hope you hit that like button as well. Said, what's with Josh Jacobs underperforming? I think it's just, man, it's running backs in general. When you look at what the Falcons did, like even though the Falcons lost, when you watch the game, both running backs, Robinson and Algier, two rookies. You got two rookies that are like 1A and 1B. They're performing well. You had the rookie over in Miami, balled out, 200 and some odd yards rushing. Okay. I think running backs, it's a sign of the times. I don't think the value's there. Derrick Henry, I want to say through the first quarter and somewhat into the second, he had negative rushing yards.
Yep.
Nobody was talking about that one. I mean, the Titans' offense is trash in general, but I think you get running backs past that rookie year. There's a reason why teams are saying, you know what, we're not going to pay for premium prices on running backs because the game's not like that anymore. I think Josh Jacobs is also a sign of that age in running back, and Jacobs is what, 20? Is he still on his first year? Josh,
yeah, I believe he is still on his first year contract. But I mean, we can talk about all of that because I mean, if you look at like Najee Harris is now like 500 yards under his expected performance. Look at Saquon. Saquon just got out with that high ankle injury this past week out of there. The durability of the running backs, and it's really, if you don't have the difference making running backs anymore like you used to. Adrian Peterson, and it was the last great running back within the NFL. You can talk about Travis Henry all you want. Travis Henry hasn't really done anything as much as Adrian Peterson has. You look at the way the game's played right now, these running backs have to be versatile, like Christian McCaffrey. Christian McCaffrey has been a pass catcher as well as a rusher. Josh Jacobs knows his worth, but he also is not being utilized. I'm looking at the game right now. I haven't even seen Josh Jacobs' name showing up on any of the plays over here on my closed captioning. So, I mean, when you're getting down to it, the game is kind of passing it by. You know what? We've already been through one of these transitions too. Let me ask you something. When's the last time you saw a great fullback within the NFL?
The last that I could think of off the top of my head would be Mike Allstott.
Yeah, it's been that long, okay? Mike Allstott wasn't even on that championship team. No, I take that back. I believe he was on that first Tampa Bay championship team. He might have just retired out of them between him and Warwick Dunn, but that was the last time you've seen a great fullback out of there. You don't see them anymore. Fullbacks were all the big ones that you wanted. You wanted to have a good fullback in the NFL. Daryl Moose Johnson was a freaking one of the best fullbacks in the NFL, and he never got any sniffing of anything like that when he was blocking for Emmitt Smith. But you look at it now, fullback has gone the way of, the H-back and the old ways of playing football. It's just the way that the progression has come is now that the running back is now got to be more versatile, more pass catching, and needs to line up on the outside instead of just being a great running back anymore. And they're not valuing them as much as they used to.
All right. Hey, that's actually really good analysis. And that's what we do here on the sports bar. We give really good analysis. Like I said, my bar for the sports bar is simple. Really good shows every Sunday here at WTF Nation Radio and the sports bar over on Facebook
Yeah.
page. That's the bar. Just really good. All right. So look, we're gonna actually have to cut the stream short tonight or the live stream
Yep.
because my kid's mother is likely asleep and my daughter is up at a friend's house and needs a ride home. And I'm not going to ask the people who she's with to take her home, even though they're closer. So I have to go do fatherly duties and go pick up my kid
Absolutely,
and
brother.
come back and grab a beer while I'm at it because this is interrupting my time here with the listeners and viewers at WTF Nation Radio. But life happens. It is what it is. Coach, I am anxiously awaiting next Sunday. You have no idea how I cleared my schedule just to make sure that we have a live stream next week. So, to the people
All
that
right.
viewed us, if you hadn't already hit that like button, hit the like button. Share us as we go live each week. There are other fantastic shows, but all I care about is our show, if I'm being honest with you. All right. David Cunningham wrapped it up and said, great show, King and Coach. Have a great week, all. Be blessed in all endeavors. Absolutely, everybody. Y'all be blessed in all your endeavors. And from from Coach and myself, King, at the sports bar, I give you a salute.
Peace.